Welcome to Grace to Endure. In this short video, I'm just wanting to remind us of this time of reprieve that we see in Daniel chapter 8. I've certainly talked about this in detail in my Daniel series, but I think it's important right now, seeing the things that are going on in the world. I want to make sure that we are watchful with Daniel chapter 8 wide open in our Bibles. Watch with that chapter and all the chapters, but definitely keep your eye on it. Study it. Look at the range of meaning of the words, but keep them in their context. Do due diligence as you study Daniel chapter 8. After you've studied it and written it down, make sure you look at the vision and the interpretation to the vision together, getting all those details, and then look around at what's going on in the world. I think it's very important to remind us of these things. You may think, wow, why is Ruth doing all of these videos on thinking about, not being able to shop at a store, not being able to buy and sell? Why am I kind of getting us ready for that kind of a mindset? Well, it's really because Daniel chapter 8 and just looking and studying and paying attention to what's going on, it's a big if as to if it's going to happen in our lifetime. But I'm watching because there are things that seem to be setting up in a certain and specific order. Taking Daniel chapter 8 and Revelation 17 and 18 and the fact that I definitely believe Babylon is here, although I don't think it's in full. I think it's going to be Jerusalem's going to have a city center that will control the whole world. But what has to happen in order for Jerusalem to have that is Iran is going to have to loosen its hold. Okay? The Muslim world is going to have to be out of the way. And Daniel chapter 8 explains how that can happen. Iran is going to push northwest and south. That's the first thing in the series of events to happen. Okay? So remember, people will be saying peace and safety. Oh, wow, look, great things, good things. It's going great. It's going to be so good. Watch out. Be careful. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we need to be watchful. We need to not waste a time of reprieve. Okay, so once Iran pushes, there's a power described that comes from the West that is a powerful nation that has not yet had a king. It will rise and it will become infuriated with Iran. It will have a leader that is arrogant, that will then wipe out Iran because it's been infuriated by something Iran is doing. And then, after they wipe out Iran, that leader of that Western nation will become even more arrogant than he already was. And that nation will actually become great for a short time. So if a nation becomes, that's already a powerful nation, because it's described in Daniel chapter 8 as a powerful nation. Okay. If a powerful nation becomes even more powerful for a short amount of time, you can think it might have economic success. It might just seem like a time of just great, wonderful things, even revival. And there might be a lot of actually really good things going on, okay, that are going to have good consequences. Only I have to say, be mindful and careful to not waste this time if we happen to live during this time frame because of what comes next. That is when Babylon is going to be exposed, okay? And the Antichrist is going to set up his system. In Revelation, you can see it in Revelation 13. It's in quite a lot of places. But you will see that it is described that the beast kingdom is going to have 7 heads and 10 horns. We see that detailed in Daniel chapter 7 and Daniel chapter 8. Okay, so the 4 that rise up after this goat character, okay, he's depicted as a goat, this first king, this leader that is arrogant and then becomes even arrogant still once he wipes out Iran. That guy Okay? When he is broken, that nation is broken, 4 will rise up in its place. However, they have 7 heads to them. That is described in detail in Daniel chapter 7. The third one has 4 heads, okay? So that means 7 total. Okay? And so these beasts, these 4 beasts are described as being here when Jesus comes back, okay? Because he's going to give an extension of life to the first 3 beasts. All right? So this is important for us to understand. The 10 are also described as being here when Jesus comes because they will wage war against the Lamb. That's in Revelation 17. And then you have the Antichrist will also wage war against the Lamb. Okay, Armageddon is going to be led by the 10 and the Antichrist. So the 4, which also have 7 heads, and the 10 and the Antichrist will all be a part of this last Antichrist system that's going to be set up, that is the ultimate evil system and deceptive, probably good seeming system that the world has been waiting for. Okay, so that is why I am talking in this little mini series quite a bit about, how do you get your mindset ready for not taking the mark of the beast? How do you get your mindset ready for not being able to buy and sell for 3.5 years? Because we're commanded to endure. We're not commanded to give up and just starve in our houses without even trying to endure. We have to at least try to endure. And we have to trust the Lord with the timing of our death, of course. But there is no just give up and who cares? It's endure. That's what we're supposed to do. So I hope that this is going to encourage you to really read Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 8, and be writing down, studying, looking at the range of meaning of the words. It's a hard 2 chapters, but study them, pray for wisdom, pray for understanding, and look at the range of meaning of the words that you are having trouble understanding, and then take them in their context as well. Okay? And also look at the fact that in Daniel chapter 8, it says 3 times that this vision refers to the time of the end, and the ending is actually going to culminate in God's wrath. So when God comes back and he wipes out, the 10 and the Antichrist, and he takes this whole beast system and he takes away the dominion and he gives it to the saints, okay? So it's important that we understand this vision, although it might have types in the past. That is not what this channel is about. It is about seeing the end time fulfillment and being watchful with your Bibles open. And we need to be having a different mindset. We really need to change our mindset. While the world is maybe excited and saying peace and safety and oh, yay, we need to be watchful. We need to be alert and we need to be awake and paying close attention. Number 1, spiritually, but also emotionally preparing, and a little bit physically, and just praying that God will use any physical preparation in the way that he would want us to use it, including if it gets stolen, saying God gives and God takes away. But that is why I'm doing this little mini series on, thinking differently about stores and being so dependent on stores. We need to have a little more knowledge. We need to have a little more understanding, just like people have for thousands of years, knowing how to, take care of, food and water and shelter and just basic necessities and clothing and sicknesses and things like that, because we need to be thinking, well, what if I can't go to the hospital? What would I do to at least try to obey the command to endure until God sees fit that we would go to heaven?